talking about Tool Manager IQ. What is Tool Manager IQ? Tool Manager IQ is a GibbsCAM integrated plugin that stores and manages your tooling, tool holders, fixtures, and supplier info in one easy to use interface. And if we have a motto for Tool Manager IQ, number one, it's TMIQ, know where your tools and fixtures are. And if we expand that motto to a couple of bullet points, simplicity, convenience, power, and speed. When you install Tool Manager IQ on your computer, you'll see this icon right here, TMIQ. When you launch that, you will see a very GibbsCAM familiar menu. Let's look at the basic menu items that we have here. We have the tooling menu, which brings up the tool interface. In the tool interface, we can see mill tools, lathe tools, broaches, probes, holders, and we can even create reports. The second button in here is the fixturing icon. The fixturing icon brings up this fixture management interface, which allows us to either look at individual fixture components, and we'll talk about how to add and subtract these from the TMIQ interface in just a moment. But we also have fixture assemblies, which are made from the fixture component table. Let's go look at fixture assemblies, and you'll see we have two assemblies here for you. A macro grip 100 vise with its two jaws, and a Haas 5-axis vise and riser with its two jaws. That is the fixturing interface. We'll come back to how those work in just a moment. The next item that we have on the TMIQ list is something that's very, very important. The ability to manage your tooling and fixturing suppliers, again, all in one place. You have all that information right here at the tip of at your fingertips, and it's inside of GibbsCAM. And as we dig a little bit deeper into the TMIQ interface, you'll see how the menus even look exactly like GibbsCAM menus. Here we have our standard suppliers: Harvey Tool, Sandvik Tools, Helical Solutions, GAR Tool, ISCAR. And when you create a supplier, you can also put that supplier's logo in there, their phone number, their email, and any notes or people that may be in that organization. The next icon is the Fritz icon, which we will cover in just a moment. Fritz is going to help us identify, number one, which cutters we can use, and number two, feed, speed, depth of cut, and width of cut. Here we have our group management tool. And then finally, down here on the end, we have our settings. Keep in mind that this is a SQL-based product that can be shared across your computers. We are looking at the GibbsCAM plugin of TMIQ, but it's also available in a standalone. Now, let's go right to it. Let's open the tool interface of TMIQ and have a look. Let's see what the basics are. Let's go to Finish End Mills. These are all end mills that I have loaded at some time. And when you click on that end mill, you first get a picture of what that end mill looks like. We will show you how to create that because we're going to create a new tool, add it to the TMIQ interface, and put an icon here so that we can see it. Now, let's have a look at this tool by simply double clicking it. You'll notice that the TMIQ interface is purposely made to be familiar with the same look and feel of GibbsCAM. GibbsCAM and TMIQ stores your existing tooling and fixturing so that you only need to create a tool or a fixture one time. Once you save it to the TMIQ interface, it's right here in front of you, and you can import it into any part file. It allows the setup of favorites to keep your most widely used items at your fingertips. If we go here into groups, you'll see that I have this one in my favorites category. So here, if I simply select favorites, those are the favorite tools. They might be my first 5 starting tools that I use every day. I've got a finish end mill, a rigid tap, face mill, and yes, it can manage your Renishaw probes and anybody else's holders, inserts, tooling, screws, holders, even your retention knobs that go on the machine. Also in this tab, you can look at the current intermediate tooling tool blocks that are available under this profile. This is my intermediate tooling library, and we can look at it here in a read-only fashion. The same thing with fixtures. We can look at all of the fixtures that we have created in our GibbsCAM intermediate tooling library, those fixtures that are available to us. Now, the tooling library. We talked about milling tools. Let's have a look at turning tools. Here, turning tools, and keep in mind, this doesn't give you the ability to create a tool from scratch. It gives you the ability to import tools from GibbsCAM, manage them, and then export them back to GibbsCAM. Here we have turning tools. And as you can see, the turning tools also have icons on them. And look at all the information that is carried from GibbsCAM to TMIQ. This information is, again, very valuable to your people on the shop floor and your programmers. For instance, let's go to face mill, and let's select this face mill right here and see what it is. It is a Sandvik 345 face mill. Our current alloy part material is aluminum. Let's click the lookup button and let's watch Fritz do his thing. Fritz is a long language engine that uses ChatGPT, and Fritz just said, okay, we can use 1,000 surface feet per minute, 5,000 feet per tooth, radial depth of cut 100 thousandths, and axial depth of cut 50 thousandths. So Fritz does have the ability to look up feed and speed, depth of cut, and width of cut data for this particular tool on the internet. That is, of course, if you have your internet connection. In the tooling list, when you're looking at individual tools such as end mills, or in this case, yes, finish end mills, you can sort again by using the header by ID, by tool ID, by name, tool type, tool offset, comment, and these pieces of information, all of these headers, can be customized by you. You can make them larger or smaller. You can drag them into another portion. You can rearrange them in the area. Now, let's say that we have our favorites right here. All of these favorites, and we're getting ready to send a program down to the floor. Can we simply select those favorite tools or those tools that are in this particular program that we're sending to the floor? And can we click the report button? Yes, we can click the report button, and TMIQ will automatically create a tool list that you can send down to the floor, because this is a PDF. This PDF can be sent down to the floor, and the operators can identify what is being used in this particular program. Now let's see what I have on my list. I don't want to make sure don't want to miss anything. Organizes tools and fixtures in an easy to access format. And one of the first questions that we get about TMIQ is, does it require a large swath of your time in training? And the answer is no. It is so intuitive that you can simply fire it up, and within a few clicks, you have made some tools and added them to the TMIQ list. Let's open this drill right here, and let's create another one just like it, but let's change the diameter to 0.125. 0.125. If I type everything correctly. Now that we have that selected, we can say, okay, import this from GibbsCAM. That new tool is already imported from GibbsCAM. We can put it in a group. I'm going to put it in my favorites group. That way it goes there right now. So the nuts and bolts of it are, it's very, very simple to add, and we can hit refresh, and we'll see the new tools here in the list in our favorites group. So getting tools in and out of TMIQ is a matter of just 1 or 2 clicks. And again, remember, look at the interface ability that we have with GibbsCAM. Retraining is almost non-existent. Now that we've had a look at tools, let me check my list and make sure that I'm going in the right direction. This is all designed to help you streamline your CNC part programming. Instead of having tools over here and tools over there and fixtures up on the roof and holders out in the parking lot, they're all right here in front of you. Let's have a look at the fixtures. First, let's take this fixture right here and put it in the body bag. And let's close the body bag. Let's go to the fixture icon, and here we have fixture assemblies. Let's get that fixture that we were just looking at. We created it, and yes, we're going to show you how to recreate that here in TMIQ. We have this ready to go, and what we would simply do is export to Gibbs. We click the button, and the fixture and the fixturing components are now in Gibbs. We're going to select them, right-click them, show properties of selected, and give them all the properties of fixtures. Once these TMIQ fixtures are in GibbsCAM, can we adjust them? Absolutely. Let's say we want to reverse those jaws. We want to flip them around. I'll move this jaw over here, grab this jaw and move it over here. And yes, we can, I'm going to undo that real quick. We can move the fixture components around and place them back on the part where they need to be to suit our simulation. I'm going to grab this vice jaw right here, and we can see very quickly, well, that was a bad decision. They don't fit. Again, see it before you machine it. Process planning is a very important part about your CNC processes, especially when you're working in a very complex environment. And if you plan ahead just a little bit, you can save bottlenecks down the line by making sure that your fixture components meet your requirements of your machine and your part and your stock. So here we are in the fixture area. Let's add this as another fixture component. We're going to give it a different name. And we're going to go to fixtures, and we can only export one at a time. So, or can we do multiples? Let me grab these and see if we can do multiples. I thought that we had import from Gibbs. We please select only one solid. So we're going to select that, and we're going to call this base 1. We gave it that information. Now we're going to import this and call it vice 1 and click OK. And we're going to call this jaw 7. And we'll call the next one jaw 8. We are creating, number 1, fixtures right now, jaw 8. They are now in the list here, base 1, vice 1, jaw 7, jaw 8. We want to create, we can see them. We can see the basic picture of that. What if we want to add a more descriptive picture? Simply click on the icon, and here is your JPG, bitmap, PNG, tagged image file library, and we can select a component photograph that we want to use to identify that particular fixture, and it automatically shows up. Then we can go to fixture assemblies once we've done that, and let's create a new assembly, import from Gibbs, and we'll call this vice setup 22. We have an empty vice setup 22 right now. Let's double click it, and let's add some components from the component list. Let's go to base 1. Let's add the next component, vice 1. The next component, we're going to be jaw 7. And the last component is going to be jaw 8. Jaw 8.x_t, which is a parasolid. Now we have that new setup right there, and we're going to double click right here. I'm going to open that vice setup right there. We're going to click here and find a suitable icon. And by the way, these icons can be a simple screenshot from Windows Snip. You can go on the web and find an actual picture of that vice and that vice setup. And then when you select it here in the list, it puts that whole assembly together. I don't have that assembly picture right here, but you can go and grab it. And now that is it will be accurately represented when you get the right picture in there. So fixture assemblies. Fixture assemblies can also have groups, just like we have groups in our tooling area. Let me get back to my list and make sure that we've got everything covered. Now, let's go back to the tooling and let's talk about other pieces of information within a tool. On the tool under inventory, and this is very, very important because not only are we managing the tools that are in your particular machine, can also manage tools that are in your tool crib. Here you can see this is Bay 2 bin 7002, Bay 1 bin 1000. I can change that bin number and I can move it to another place. I can add quantities to that, and we can track this tool by inventory. We can also track this tool by barcode. When we create our tool list, the barcodes will be on that tool list, and we can also divide them up by GAR tool, Harvey tool, or any other group. I'll say no group, and then all of my groups will be there. Sandvik tools, GAR tools, inventory. So you have the ability to manage the inventory at the machine, and you have the ability to manage the inventory in your tool crib as well. You can print this information. You can export to comma separated values, which is a simple Excel spreadsheet. And let's see, we've already talked about Fritz. We talked about barcodes.
We do have some good questions, Patrick, whenever
Yes,
you're
thank
ready.
you, Joe. You felt me winding down there because I got right to the bottom of my list.
Absolutely. So you may have touched on this one, but Sal was asking about soft jaws for fixturing.
Hello, Sal Santangelo. It's good to hear your voice, or it's good to see you. Soft jaws. What's the difference between a hard jaw and a soft jaw in Gibbs? Well, when you are machining a part in GibbsCAM, under machining preferences, using global settings, each toolpath, as long as that fixture is in the part file, will be avoided by this amount. So if I say I want to avoid that fixture by 1/4 of an inch, I can either put it on the individual operation or I can make it global. And it will avoid that fixture by, or all fixtures, by 1/4 of an inch. But what Sal wants to know is, this is a soft jaw. I don't want to avoid it. I need to cut into it because the part nests inside of that jaw. That's very simple. Right click the fixture component that you want to change and change it from body type fixture to body type fixture display only. When you do that, the fixture collision tolerance will be eliminated and you can cut into that part as much as you want, as it is now a soft jaw. Thank you, Sal.
We got another one for you, Patrick. A couple from Robert Ruscher, who wants to know about speeds and feeds within the ToolManageriQ for tools.
Yeah, speeds and feeds within the ToolManageriQ. Let's go and grab a tool and let's go back and look at this face mill. And let's check, let's select another face mill. This is a Sandvik 245 face mill right here. We have it open. Let's change the material before we do anything. Let's go to document control and change our material to carbon steels wrought. And let's reopen that tool and let's see what Fritz says about this particular material. We have selected a material. We have selected a tool. Now we click the lookup button. What Fritz does is he goes on the internet. He finds this tool diameter, this surface feet per minute, this inch per tooth, this depth of cut. The material, the Brunel amount, the cut type, feeds and speeds, depth of cut. These are recommended to be only used as a starting point. You should always consult with a qualified tooling representative or for the documentation provided by your tooling manufacturer. That's a simple disclaimer that says, take everything that you get as a starting point and work either up or down from there. Mr. Joe.
And then Patrick, Robert asks also about the fixture movement is used in the ToolManageriQ as well. Any kind of fixture movement?
Yes, yes. Inside of the ToolManageriQ, you have fixture movement. If we go into fixture assemblies, we can change the X offset of that fixture assembly simply by typing in a new value, and it will move that fixture by that amount. So that's in individual fixture components or in here inside of the offset of the fixture assembly. So in other words, we can move one jaw, but not the other jaws, or we can move the entire fixture, let's say 10 inches over in the X axis. And when we do that, it will move inside of the part file.
Excellent. And then we've got one more here regarding Tool Manager IQ. Can you share it across your entire facility?
Yes, because TMIQ is SQL based or SQL based, it is a standard Windows component and it only requires Microsoft.NET and one or two components. But here's the cool thing is when you install TMIQ, when you go to use it, if those components are not present in your current computer setup, it will prompt you and say, hey, do you want to install this SQL component, this Microsoft.NET component? And yes, it will install automatically once you click on the executable, and it will install that, and everybody in your facility can share this information. Remember, this is the GibbsCAM plug-in version. There is also a standalone version, which I don't have on this computer. But yes, it can be shared across your entire facility.